Hi guys, welcome to Extra Talk. For today, again, another player we have to talk about. We just signed this summer a couple of players, and of course, we have Ahmed John Kaplan. I hope I pronounced it right, guys. Is it okay?
Yeah, definitely.
Perfect.
Thank you, thank you. All right, we have Erdo with us. Erdo,
Hello.
welcome, and we have
Thank
Yakup with us. Both Trabzonspor fans. I'm very curious to know how you guys became fan of Trabzonspor. So I'll go with you, Erdo, first, quickly.
Well, it's basically a family thing. I became a fan throughout my family and fell in love. Never looked back again.
Oh, wow. All right. Clear. Yakup, how about you?
It's pretty much the same. My parents are from Trabzon, and Trabzonspor is the first thing that you learn about. So you become a fan like instantly.
All right. So you guys had a very good season last season, right?
Definitely.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. All right. So we're going to talk about a player we signed from your club, of course. You guys are insiders. Basically, you guys know a lot. I'm very curious to know what kind of player we signed. So let me start by saying, if you can describe Kaplan in one word, Erdo, what would it be? What would be the word associated with him?
I thought about this a lot, and I think the biggest word to describe Kaplan is potential. He's a very young player, growing up from our city, from our roots, and he has proven himself time and time again in big and small matches for Trabzonspor, and I think he will only go up from here.
All right. All right. That's clear. Yakup, what about you?
I had a difficult time trying to pinpoint it to one word, but I think the best word for me is calm. He has a certain calmness to him at such a young age. You can teach a lot, but you can't teach how to stay calm on the ball, especially Turkish players. So calm. He's really calm.
All right. All right. Clear. So we signed him. You guys saw the news as well. What was your reaction, Yakup? Let me go with you first.
I was, I'm a guy from Rotterdam. I don't like Ajax. I don't like Amsterdam. Just to be
Don't
clear.
say that, man. Don't say that. Okay.
But for Ahmed Can, Ajax is known in the world for being a place where youngsters go and develop their skills. And Ahmed Can is one of the best that has come through our development team in a long time. So when I saw the news, I first didn't believe it until I saw pen on paper. But afterwards, I'm so happy. I'm so happy for him. I'm so happy for the club, so that he can go to a good club and represent us well in Europe, and I'm just unbelievably happy for him.
Yeah. So did it hurt to say it's a good club, or is it okay if you say that?
I mean, the numbers are there. Unfortunately, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm a realist.
All right. Are you going to follow him a little bit to see how he does? Okay.
Yeah. You got a fan. I'm not a fan of Ajax, but I'm a fan of Ahmed Can. So I'll be keeping an eye on him.
All right. All right. Clear on that one. Erdo, what about you? What was your reaction? Is it a little bit similar to Yakup or different?
It's a little different. I don't really watch Dutch football that much. Like if I had to pick a team to follow, it would be kind of biased since I'm from The Hague. It would be ADO Den Haag, but I don't really have a hate or anything against Ajax. My first reaction to Almer Can's signing was just utter happiness, because I knew that his dream was to go to Europe to grow there, and this is exactly what he could be hoping for. And there's not a better way for him to leave the team either, because he lived the championship here with us, so it's basically the perfect time for him to go and grow in Europe. And the Dutch league is a way better spot for him to grow than the Turkish league, in my opinion, especially because if you look at the Ajax youth system, it's one of the best in the world. So Ajax definitely knows what to do with a player like him.
Yeah.
And I'm just happy for him. I think he's going to shine in these 5 years.
Yeah. I have a question for both of you. I'm going a little bit off script here, but I was talking today with a Turkish colleague. He's not really a football watcher, but he knows a little bit. He follows a little bit of news and these kind of things. In general, also from what I see from Turkey, you guys always spend. I mean, the big clubs always spend a lot of money to attract established names back to Turkey, and they give them a lot of money and these kind of things. Sometimes I felt that, because Turkey has about 80 million people, I always felt like you guys must have good talents and young talents. But do they have a chance in Turkey, or do you see a development in which young Turkish players, potential players like Kaplan, are going to other clubs in Europe to develop?
Well, we have 3 examples of that. We have Yusuf Yazıcı. We have not from Trabzon, but yeah, from Trabzon. If you look at Trabzon, we have Yusuf Yazıcı, Abdülkadir Ömür, and now Ahmetcan Kaplan. And I don't think it's going to stop here. I think that good players will will keep coming from our youth system.
Okay. Yakup, what about you? Do you agree? And how does it make you feel?
I'm a little bit more pessimistic because I've seen it go wrong a lot of times. The issue in Turkey is predominantly that when a club president, has a campaign and tries to become a club president, he overpromises. He promised a lot of big names, and that's how he gets a lot of the votes. And youngsters tend to get pushed aside because they are valuable, but only in the future. They aren't immediately valuable. So if you look at as Erdo said, if you look at Abdülkadir, if you look at Yusuf, and if you look at currently you have Uğurcan in the goal, they are all players that were kind of forced to play because of injuries. They never really got the spot on merit, and the same happened with Ahmetcan when our defenders got injured. He just had to play. So then when they play a game and when they play a couple of games, you can see their confidence build, and it shows that we do have we have promising youngsters pretty much everywhere in the country. Like so Cengiz Ünder, Çağlar Soyuncu, Orkun you have in the Netherlands, and I know he's not from Turkey, but there are players that are valuable and that are quality, but they don't have the same system like in Ajax, where they have a great system where they can build upon those players. They tend to get the loan to second division teams and then just rot away. But every now and then, a diamond in the rough comes through. Ahmetcan, Uğurcan, Altay from Fenerbahçe. They are there. But when they do get the chance, they show that they have potential. They just need to get a lot more chances in Turkey, in my opinion.
Yeah. You talked about being valuable, bringing quality, the diamonds in the rough. Let me start with Erdo, because Erdo doesn't really look a lot to Ajax. So I will split the question a little bit. Erdo, what can you say about Kaplan? What does he bring to this Ajax team in general? In terms of quality, his strength, maybe things he has to work on. And Yakup, maybe you can also add to what Erdo says, and maybe also be more specific to Ajax, even though it's not your favorite club, but maybe you can say maybe what he brings to this team. Erdo, go ahead.
I think his strengths are his physique, his passing accuracy, his surprisingly good dribbling, and his capability of blocking shots. I think his weaknesses are he needs to work on aerial duels. He's not that good at aerial duels right now, so he needs to sharpen that a little bit, and his weak foot.
Okay, all right. Can he play? Just a question. Can he play a high line? Does he have speed?
Not sure. Yakup, do you know?
Yeah, he didn't. Trabzonspor doesn't tend to play with a high line, so
okay.
Yeah, I think he doesn't have he's not the most speedy guy in the world, but he has to add to Erdo, he has a lot of vision, so he can always find an open player, and if you play with a high line, you need to be able to pass your way out of a situation. And I think that that's one of his qualities. As I said before, he's really calm on the ball. So when there's pressure, when the opponent is pressuring your team, and especially if you're playing with a high line, it's really you have to be on your spot, because if you lose the ball, it's gone. It's counter attack and it's one-on-one. So he's really calm, and I think that is one of his qualities. He has a really good base. I think that what he brings is that good base, and I think that Ajax just need to mold him. He's, as I said a couple of times, he's a diamond in the rough, and he's going to get that great training in Ajax, and he's going to get that those fundamentals are going to be hammered into him. And valuable wise, he's a left-footed central defender. You don't see those a lot in the world at the moment. Yeah. So it's going to be great, I hope.
Would you both argue he's also an intelligent type of player? In
Yeah,
terms of,
yeah.
because reading the play, being able to like anticipate what's going to happen. Because one of the things that I've heard from the interview when we signed Kaplan from Hamstra, our director of football, he said that one of his qualities, there are many, but one of his qualities is his aggressiveness, his aggression, also to front check. So if somebody gets the ball, he doesn't hold back. Some defenders, they stay away and they wait for what somebody does, but they said that he has the ability, from what I've heard, that he can go into the tackle immediately, something that, for instance, Timber does as well at Ajax. What do you think of that, Yakup? Do you agree?
Yeah, he doesn't shy away from battles, and the Turkish league is a much more physical one than the Eredivisie is. So if you are afraid to tackle, the opponent will note that and will abuse that. So in Turkey you have to be a little bit more rough and you have to be a little bit more physical. Um, and I'm repeating myself. I'm really sounding like a recording, but it's because he doesn't panic. He can go to a defender. He can go up to an attacker and put his foot in between, and then in pressure he doesn't boot the ball away. And I know that especially nowadays, and Ajax has always been such a team that they are a possession kind of team, so they don't want to give away the ball just for free. And he won't do that. He will always find a passing lane.
All right. Okay. Erdo, about the rise of Kaplan, basically. Can you tell us a little bit about that? How he came into the picture? When did you see him for the first time? When did you notice him for the first time and he made an impression on you? And the following question that I have, maybe both of you can also answer this, is at what stage did he, maybe yes, maybe no, I don't know, did he became a little bit more under the radar of the Turkish league, of the media, of other football fans, and these kind of things. Can you say something about that?
Should I begin?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, so I think his breakthrough game was against Galatasaray, playing on their turf. We didn't really have any other defenders to play that game, I think, so we had to put Kaplan in, and he impressed like all of the fans, all of the people like watching the game. He was playing really well that game, and
Quickly, one question, sir. Sorry to interrupt, Erdo. Just for people to understand, was this his first starting position or not?
was it? I don't think it was. No, it wasn't. It wasn't his
No,
starting
I
position.
don't
He
think
was
so.
put in later.
But before he started that game, he didn't have a lot of minutes with the team yet, right? Okay. It was the first season that he was with the first squad?
Yeah.
No? Okay. All right.
The thing with him was he was part of the Trabzonspor under 19 team. I think that won
Yeah.
the under 19 championship, and especially his performances with Turkey under 19 were really put into a scope, and that made him a little bit bigger and a little bit more seen. And then, as Erdo said, the game against Galatasaray is probably the one that really just put him on the map for everyone.
And when was that exactly during the season? Was this in the beginning of the season, towards the end of the
No,
season?
the second half, I think.
Ah, okay. All right.
And the thing that match, no, another match where I think he had his breakthrough, it was against Fenerbahce. That game was just special, in my opinion. Fenerbahce was left with 10 players, but it was still a very, very hard game. They were playing very well, in my opinion, that day. But I just got this assurance from Kaplan that we weren't going to concede like many goals or something that game. Like we conceded one goal that game, could have won, but it just felt like we played with two goalkeepers that day. That's how it felt.
Because it is what you said, his block shotting ability.
Yeah, his block shotting that game was incredible. I remember that Serdar Dursun had a rebound shot, and it was just impossible for Urcan Çakır, our goalkeeper, to stop. But then on the last second, you had Ahmetcan Kaplan just jumping in front of the line and heading the ball away. It was one of the best moments in that season, in my opinion. It was like an incredible moment for Kaplan as well. They just left not only the Fenerbahce players, but us as well, like shook. So that's one of his breakthrough matches, in my opinion, too. And if I got to talk about the media in Turkey, like if there was like a lot of noise about him, not sure about that, because in the Turkish media, when it comes to football, they most likely talk about the teams in Istanbul. So you would hear Kerem Aktürkoğlu or Arda Güler more. And not, like, disappointingly enough, not that much about Ahmetcan Kaplan was being talked about in the Turkish media.
All right.
Not as far as I can remember, at least.
Okay. Yeah. No. Clear. Yakup, do you want to add to what Erdo said?
I pretty much agree with everything, as you said. The Fener and the Galatasaray games, being the biggest opponents in the league, those are the games that where you want him to step up, and he did, and he has shown that he is able to face that opposition.
Yeah.
As
Let
with
me
the
ask
media,
sorry to interrupt. Let me ask you another question. Maybe Erdo also can answer this. You guys say, by the way you guys are speaking, from what you guys are saying, I mean, playing against, for instance, Fenerbahce, these are not the low tier teams in the league. These are big teams, and he's making an impression. Did you have at certain moment throughout the season, when seeing his performance, did you thought, I don't know if we're gonna be able to keep him, or were you comfortable? Like, no, maybe he has still 1 year, because he's not really playing regularly for Trabzon yet.
I mean, I always thought that he would move away, but I honestly didn't expect it to be this quick. Our defending duo, we have Vitor Hugo, a quality defender, and we have Stefano Denswil, ex-Ajax. And they were a really good duo, and that's one of the reasons why Ahmetcan couldn't, our coach Abdullah Hoca didn't really want to break that duo, because they were performing so well. And I think, there's no news about this, but I think that's one of the reasons why he wanted to take the step, outside of it being Ajax. I don't think he would have gone if it was like a Stuttgart or something. I think one of the reasons is that our coach doesn't really like to, dismantle an established team. So when I saw him play, as I said, I expect, I always want any youngster that has a little bit promise in their legs. Doesn't matter if they play for Trabzonspor, for a different team, to go outside of Turkey and try the challenges, try to challenge in Europe, try in Belgium or Germany or whatever. And I wanted him, and I still want him to get that challenge. And I didn't expect it to be so soon. It kind of evolved really quickly when the news of Ajax broke.
Yeah, Erdo, same as Yakup or different?
Same thing. I didn't really know what to expect, but one thing I did expect is him leaving. I didn't know when, but yeah, I can't be more happy for him because he went through a great team where he can grow, basically.
Yeah. Look, he's a young player, right? We all know that, and Ajax made a good decision, it seems. My question to you is if you can judge his potential. I know this is a very tricky question when it comes to football players, because there are a lot of factors involved, whether somebody can really reach a high level, yes or no. But in terms of looking at what he has done at Trabzonspor, Ajax now signing him, do you think that, first of all, do you think it's a good match, player Ajax? And second of all, how would you rate his potential in general? Erdo, you can take this first.
Judging by the fact that, in my opinion, he's at a great team, Ajax will basically know what to do with him. Judging by that fact, I think he's in the right hands, and I think that he's at least like not going. He's only gonna grow, in my opinion. He's not gonna bounce back or anything. And judging by the fact that they have 5 years in their hands, I think that Ajax will make this player at least, like, maybe I want to say like he can become a very big star player or something, but if we gotta think about realistically, I think Ajax will make him like a very great player, at least, like maybe not a star player, but a very great solid player, at least in 5 years. So I don't think you can say that this has been a bad decision on Ajax's side in a couple of years.
Okay, all right. Yakup, further to what I asked Erdo, so you can also add to that. But also I want to ask you, let's say he evolves in terms of potential. Where do you see him play? I mean, is it a player that can? I mean, I'm gonna be a little bit going extreme here, but is it a player that you can see ending up in Barcelona, for instance, or is it just below that, or these kind of questions more? Just I know it's hard, I know, but in terms of potential, I mean, looking at what you know right now, and he's young. If everything goes,
Yeah, I'm not of a I'm not a really a predicting guy. I think as I said, I can't say enough about him. He's a great player. I think that one of the potential issues might be the way he adapts to Amsterdam. He has been from Trabzon isn't the biggest city. Trabzon is pretty tiny, and it is a different kind of city if you compare it to the European side. If you compare it to Ajax or any big city in Europe. So as long as Ajax and I know with how Ajax's youth system is set up, I know that they will take care of it. But he probably doesn't speak English. I think with the Dutch, famously, everybody speaks English here. Um, I think that if Ajax is able to overcome those issues, if they can get him a strong base, and if he doesn't feel foreign in the Netherlands, and if he gets into the groove, he can really grow to be a big player. Potential wise, it depends. I don't see him. I don't know if Ajax will play him immediately or if they are going to, stall him in their Ajax B club, and if they are going to, a little bit like how Gravenberg, Naji Univar and everybody, how they started and how they, progressed through the ranks. I think that if they do that, I think in a couple years, I don't know. Barcelona is such a big team. I think that's maybe a step too big, but I think a sub top, in Germany or Ajax's level. I think Ajax's level. Let me say it like that.
all right. I mean, can he go? Let me do it differently. Do you see
Yeah.
him play for a Premier League club? Maybe not the top ones, but maybe
I mean, he can. If you look at how Chalar how Chalar did when he went to Freiburg and then went to Leicester, I think it's possible. It's a different physical league. The Turkish league is pretty physical, but the English league is a step up. Why not? It's the biggest league in the world, in my opinion. I think he can, and he's still so young that if he takes a gamble and it doesn't work out, he can always drop down a level and then start from the bottom up again.
yeah, clear. Guys, this is it basically. I just had one question. Are you guys happy with Nachi? Yes or no?
I'm definitely happy, but gotta wait and see as well.
Yeah, I saw Yakup smiling because he got an Ajax player, so I want to hear him.
I mean, I've been a fan of Naji. We have that big issue with, I'm a Turkish guy in the Netherlands, and there aren't a lot of Turkish players that reach the top in the Netherlands. There are a lot of Moroccan players do, but Turkish players don't. So with Orkun at Feyenoord, I really wanted Naji to get to that top spot in Ajax too, and he is quality. He's been a super talent for years. I hope that he, a year at Trabzonspor can help him make that next step. He's our player, so I have to love him now, even though he's a dirty Ajax player. But no, I'm really happy. I'm really happy.